25 curriculum info session now for the next half hour. So that means that you are parents or caregivers of students currently in Year 9. If you're a parent or caregiver of someone currently in Year 7 or 8, you just need to be up at the SLP. So just making sure that everyone's in the right space. For now, you're a parent or a caregiver of a young person currently in Year 9, which means that they'll be in Year 10 next year. We are going to need to stand here tonight and speak into the microphone and be looking this way because we're recording this. So apologies that we're not going to be too creative in our roving around. We need to be here for that recording to happen. Just going to start with an acknowledgement of country. Trinity Lutheran College community recognises the Kumbameri people belonging to the Yugambeh language group as the traditional custodians of the land where we work, play and learn. We express our respect to elders both past and present and extend our acknowledgement to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. They play a vital role in preserving the rich culture, memories and traditions of this land, where our journey of learning and growth unfolds. Welcome to this evening. My name is Laura Robbins, and when I was in Year 10, my electives were PE, drama and geography. I'm also blessed to be the Deputy Principal and the head of this campus, and I welcome you here this evening on behalf of our College Principal, Dr. Wong, on behalf of our Head of Teaching and Learning, who is absent this evening, Mrs. Ellie Wood, and all of our staff here at Trinity. Tonight, you're going to spend the next half an hour here, and we're going to share quite a lot of information with you. The whole goal in all of this is to help you and your young person with subject selections moving forward. After this half hour, you'll head up to the SLP all together, and that's where we have our heads of learning, like our heads of faculty or heads of department, like a head of English, a head of PE, a head of science, and they're all up there to engage with you and answer any subject-specific questions that you might have. So that's how this evening is going to run. Before I hand it over to Mr. Cullen, who is our Head of Careers, and Mr. Mackay, who's our Head of Assessment, Practices and Data, they're going to do the most sharing in this session. I just wanted to share a couple of things from my perspective that I believe are very important. The first thing is, we know that you're about to hear a lot of information. And we're kind of sorry about that because we don't want you to feel overwhelmed by information, but at the same time, as a school, we're trying to provide people with information. So we're kind of caught in that space of we're not wanting to overwhelm you this evening, but we are wanting to share because we know that parents want to be informed. So from my perspective, this is what I hope you walk away from this session knowing. One, we have wonderful staff here at Trinity. These gentlemen, the heads of learning and our teachers. And so on this journey of subject selection, but across the rest of your child's remaining years here at Trinity, you just need to engage with us. You don't always need to have all of the answers. Work with us. These people are wonderful. They are experts and they will always be there to engage with you and your questions. That's the first thing I want you to know. Second thing I want you to know is that we are thankful that you are here tonight and that you are doing your part to get informed. We have the curriculum information booklets and we can track how many people are actually opening them and accessing them. It's not a lot of people. We also have this tonight. We're doing our best to try and get good information out to people, but we need people to engage themselves. We can't funnel it into your brain. If you want to learn about the process of subjects and the process of senior, then you need to engage. And I thank you for the part that you're playing in upskilling yourself to know things. The last thing I want you to know is the mindset that I hope you and your young person take into subject selection. And I represent all of our staff when I share this. I'm inspired by the commercial for the cereal Just Right, that has the byline, not too heavy, not too light, Kellogg's Just Right. And bear with me as I unpack that very briefly. We want your approach to subject selection to be not too light. We don't want you to be blasé about this, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, do these subjects, you'll be fine. That's irresponsible. That's not a great way to approach subjects. So we don't want you to take a too light approach to this, but we also don't want you to take a too heavy approach to this. Your child is not going to be doing what I am doing right now and have around on them and bestowed on them for the rest of their life a lanyard that says what subjects they did in year 10. That would be weird, okay? They're not going to need to share that with a partner when they're proposing to them and getting married. These were my year 10 subjects. They're not going to share it with, I didn't share it with Dr. Wong when I got interviewed for the job here. They're not going to carry it around as an identifier for the rest of their life. It's really important that we don't take a too heavy approach here. What is important is that we get that just right. We have good conversations with young people, we find out what they're interested in, and we encourage them. So I want you to walk away with that tonight. And in unpacking that very quickly, this is what I want you to know. You know your child best. Have conversations about what they are interested in and what they get excited about. For example, if they love sport, probably doing HPE might be something that they'll really enjoy. We want young people to do subjects, when they get to select them, that are subjects they will enjoy. So what is your child interested in and excited about? We want your child to feel success. You know what it's like when you're in the workplace and you feel some success, that sense of confidence that you get. Know what your child is good at. They will normally enjoy doing those things. We want your child to be interested and excited. We want them to feel success. We also want your child to be challenged, and that's important. That subjects are there that they're interested in and excited about, but it doesn't just need to be a walk in the park, because life is not a walk in the park. Having a bit of challenge is a great thing. And the last thing that I will say is this. We want your child to learn how to enjoy the present. We want your child to be well. We don't want your child up until 12 o'clock every evening slogging over assignments for these subjects because they've chosen the hardest subjects that ever exist and are not attainable for your child and their skill level. We want your child to love sport and cultural pursuits. We want your child to be able to go to family barbecues. We want your child's present life to be a good life where they feel good. So important. But we also want your child to feel excited for a bright future. Now, that doesn't mean that they need to know now that they are becoming a doctor. If they do, that's great, and they can choose a pathway for that. But if they don't, that's also okay. What we want them to feel in their education is that they are learning skills that will help them be great learners and be great at whatever they do because they're great problem solvers. They're great at producing written work. They're great at speaking and sharing ideas. We're really passionate here at Trinity about a whole education. And so my encouragement for you tonight is to take away those things. We have wonderful staff that will support you and back you. Thank you for being here and doing your part in getting informed. And let's have a really measured approach to subject selection. It's important, but let's not overwhelm your child with a sense of this is the most important thing that's ever existed in their life. Make sense? God bless you all and thank you for being here. I'll hand it over to Tom and Caleb.
Thank you, Laura, and good evening, everybody. Tonight is an opportunity to find out how our curriculum structure works and to get some pointers about making your selections. We hope that you've had a chance to become familiar with the range of subjects offered in the Year 10 curriculum handbook by accessing it through MyUnity. A link was included in the communication that went home at the end of Term 2 and is permanently available on the Year 9 page on MyUnity. Our subject offerings have been arranged into core, and elective courses, and grouped by key learning areas. The handbook is designed to be used digitally, where you can access subject overviews by clicking on the links. Links at the bottom of each subject overview will return you to the subject offering page, where you can select a different course to view. Now, it may seem a long way off, but it can be helpful when selecting Year 10 subjects to know a little bit about the Year 11 and 12 curriculum structure and the senior schooling system. Throughout Year 10, we'll work with students, as well as you, to build understanding of how the final 2 years of schooling work. The most important part for you to understand is, at this point, is that there are multiple pathways to get to where you want to go after school. Some students will already have an idea of what they want to do after school, and some won't, which is completely fine and normal. We are a college that values all pathways, and we can definitely help you turn an idea into a reality, or help you form an idea about what you want to do after school. There are two main components of the senior schooling system worth knowing about at this stage of your journey, as these can factor into subject selections you choose in Year 10. The Queensland Certificate of Education is Queensland's senior secondary schooling qualification. It is internationally recognised and provides evidence of senior schooling achievements. To be eligible for a QCE, students will accrue 20 credits by successfully completing senior subjects and/or certificate and diploma course in a set pattern. Additionally, they need to satisfy the literacy and numeracy requirements of the certificate, which are covered by successful completion of one semester of an English and mathematics subject. An Australian Tertiary Admission Rank, or ATAR, is the primary mechanism used nationally for tertiary admissions. It's expressed as a number from 99.95 right through down to 0, in steps of 0.05. An ATAR is determined by the final results of eligible subjects. The takeaway with these two aspects of the senior schooling system is that all students aim to successfully complete their QCE as recognition of completing schooling, whereas not all students will aim to achieve an ATAR. It is also important to note that while an ATAR is a primary mechanism for determining university entry, it is not the only mechanism. There are different pathways into university and pathways that do not involve university, which are equally valued at Trinity. This time next year, we will have multiple opportunities to explain the system further as students prepare to select subjects for their last 2 years of schooling. If at this stage you'd like to learn more information about this, we have included some details in the curriculum handbook, and you are welcome to ask questions tonight in the Senior Learning Precinct. In Year 10, we tailor our curriculum to our students' needs, further by creating choices within core learning areas. All students will study religion and ethics, which covers the Christian studies component of our curriculum. This course is a senior applied subject, completed over 3 years. With successful completion, students receive 4 core credits towards their Queensland Certificate of Education obtained in Year 12. To fulfil the required aspects of the Australian curriculum, all students must study English, maths, science, and HPE. To cater for different learning needs and pathways, we have created options within these core subjects that all cover the Year 10 achievement standard from the Australian curriculum. It is important that you take the time to consider the differences amongst these core options, and most importantly, please note that the word essential in Essential English and Essential Maths does not mean these courses are essential to study. They are one option of the 3 that students may select to satisfy the core requirement to study an English or a maths subject. If you are unsure which option is best, please discuss this with our Head of Learning for English, Mr. Anthony Ingold, and our Head of Learning for Mathematics, Mrs. Melanie McCall. For electives, students can select 3 subjects, studied for the whole year. These courses are designed to develop students' skills in preparation for a senior schooling pathway in Year 11 and 12 that best suits them. Alternatively, an approach to selecting subjects may be to select from a wide range of key learning areas to keep these options open in Year 11 and 12. The 3 subject lines will be determined from the preferences students submit, using a model of best fit. And this is why it's important for students and families to make informed decisions about which subjects they select, and carefully consider the order of the preferences entered into the online platform. These lines change year to year to accommodate student preferences. Therefore, it's our students who create the lines. When submitting preferences, students will identify 6 individual subjects they wish to study. There can't be any duplication of subjects when entering preferences. Under the best fit model, it is possible that a student might be allocated their 4th, 5th, or maybe their 6th choice. So again, the subjects entered and the preference order needs to be carefully considered. Unfortunately, some of our subjects have a maximum class size. These include hospitality, visual art, design technology, and media arts. Due to safety reasons, we are unable to take more students into these classes. We have internal processes to manage where the classes become oversubscribed, and please rest assured that the time the preferences were entered does not determine the entry to the subject. Reasons for choosing a subject. So when choosing your subjects, as we heard from Laura, we advise you to select subjects that you enjoy, subjects that you experience success in, and subjects that give you a balance spread across different subject areas. You may already have an idea of what you want to do after school, and therefore you may wish to choose subjects that are relevant to your pathway in the senior years and post-school. But if you're not, selecting subjects from a range of key learning areas will give you an opportunity to experience new ideas and ways of thinking. When speaking with our heads of learning tonight, ask questions about the types of learning experiences and assessments included in your subjects of interest. This will give you a good understanding of what you can expect if you want to study this subject. If you have a career pathway in mind, but aren't sure which subjects to study in Year 10, talk to your heads of learning and come and see myself at any time. I'll be joining the heads of learning upstairs soon after 7:30, and students can also make appointments to come and see me during the school day by sending me an email. To discuss important learning expectations for Year 10 students and to conclude our presentation tonight, I invite our Head of Learning, Caleb Mackay, to the stage.
Good evening, everyone. So moving into the first year of senior years, it is an important step in the high school journey. You will find that subjects increase in rigour as each year level progresses, and students are required to think in more complex ways. To best prepare for this, it is vital that students start laying good home learning practices which will help them transition into the senior years smoothly. In Year 10, our guidelines recommend that students complete 10 hours of home learning, just checking I changed that slide, increasing to 12.5 hours in Year 11 and 12. We encourage students and families to determine how this best works for them. You may find it advantageous to break this time up over several nights or to complete it in longer time blocks. Home learning must work in conjunction with how your family operates outside of school hours. Often we are asked what home learning should look like. Sorry, I'll get back. Our academic policy indicates that home learning may take the form of revision activities and exercises where students apply new learning to activities to demonstrate and reinforce their understanding. Assignment work, where students work on drafting and finalising summative assessment items. Preparatory learning, where students undertake work that would prepare them for an upcoming unit of work or assessment task, for example, reading a set novel for English or collecting examples of geometric shapes for a math topic. And independent reading, where students read different kinds of texts and discuss these with others. The subject selection process contains multiple steps. We are currently at step 2. Tonight is an opportunity for you to find out more about our subject offerings and ask any questions that you have. If you think of other questions after tonight, please feel free to contact our heads of learning to discuss. This week you would have received your login details from the email address noreply@selectmysubjects.com. These details were emailed to students and the primary carer contact on our system. Please check your junk mail if you are having trouble finding these details. Tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 p.m, the system will open for you to enter your preferences. Remember that these preferences do create our subject lines. Therefore, it is important that you select subjects in the order of preference. From these preferences, the lines are constructed to provide the best fit for the greatest number of students. There is not another opportunity to select subjects, as students will be allocated classes from their preferences. The closing date for entering preferences is Friday, 26th of July at 12 p.m. If a student has not entered their preferences by this time, we will need to call them out of class to make their selection. Please note that in these circumstances, there won't be opportunity to discuss these choices further. Therefore, we ask that you work together as a family within the allocated time frame to enter subject preferences prior to midday on July 26. In closing, please make sure you use the time tonight to ask any questions that you have about our curriculum structure and subject offerings in 2025. Remember, as I said, remember to enter your final subject selection preferences via web preferences from 3:30 Friday the 19th to midday Friday 26th of July using the login details that were emailed to you this week. We look forward to working with you and your child to make informed decisions about subject selections. Thank you for joining us tonight, and I now invite you to join our heads of learning on level 2 of the Senior Learning Precinct. Do we have Karen here? Yes, so we've got, up the back, we've got Karen Schmidt, our Head of Inclusive Practices, and Kylie Day, our Head of Languages, here to just assist you in finding your way to the SLP, where you'll be able to meet with the heads of learning and ask some further questions. So thanks very much for your time.